당도 지금 동화를 들어가와레스 아니 동화를 좋아라 안 동화 줘야 돼야 아니 규단 kiến起来 되네 아니 그 동화를 줘야 마도 신 규단 kiến 가라 마도봐 동화를 줘두고 말해 지나당한서 동화 타달래 줘야시 안주기 디기디 토고거래 지난 디기 토야 돼야 규단 kiến起来 토는마도 규단 kiến 가라 마대버체 아니 디기 토토야요 말했어 대장한서 코위 동화 타달래 줘야시 디기 줘야 다 디기 주비야라 아니 규가를 고스네 아니 개와사 고래서지 디바빵나 아니 거기 동안에 타야 개 규리바빵 방거로와 디바빵야 난 개어주야래서 아니 다 디바빵나 개어주야라 안다봉 저기 다 지게 그래서 개와 주탕 지금도 신고고로 개와 간에서 주고 디바 간에 가서 방고 그래서야지 대신고고 대신 와라 가서 롭된 지가 주고 그래 제가 되니기 가서 아주 롭된 지가 당아서 로치켄 되니기 될 개뷰서 되는 아주 거기 동아 타달래 껴큰 개뷰시고 그래 제가 되는 인자 먼저 개뷰 건조스마 개म्रो 제고 그래서 그 생각도 개म्रो 거를 두시로
Good evening. All of us sitting here, just like all beings everywhere, have this deep innate desire this deep innermost desire to be freed of suffering and experience only happiness, to not experience a moment of difficulty but experience only lasting, stable happiness. But to be able to eliminate all forms of unwanted suffering, from the coarse down to the subtlest, one has to be able to understand where suffering comes from. In other words, what are the causes that lead to suffering? In that suffering doesn't just come about causelessly, but comes about in dependence on the accumulation of prior causes. Similarly, this desired state of happiness, this too doesn't come about causelessly, but only comes about in dependence on the accumulation of specific causes. So these need to be known. Wanting to be freed of all the sufferings, the myriad sufferings that beings experience throughout samsara, and wanting to achieve a state of lasting, stable happiness, then it's imperative that one comes to know what the causes are that need to be accumulated, what are the causes that need to be abandoned. This is imperative. To be able to come to know this, one needs to rely on a being, a teacher, who has both knowledge and experience of this path, who knows through their own experience what are the causes of happiness and suffering, and has taught and presented that, as well as to rely on those most skilled practitioners who are cultivating these teachings. And this is what we looked at last week. Who to turn to for refuge, for protection from suffering. And then we started to look at this topic, the topic of refuge, last week.
냠len 지단 됴시 비기 냠len 지다도 로봇 지겐 롭된 지겐디 기능 고쳐 대체 기능 고쳐 겹주베 다로세 거네 당한 주일라 냠len 제는 항수 귤라 안에서 또베 연된 계제 하는 계비기 녀모바 차다 빵비기 빵비 고된당 되는 람덴이 귤라 계어도 되네 아주 고된나 람덴이들라 최고권조서 겹모에서 그래 니닝 아주 귤라 계어도 안에 아주 거기 동안을 줘 두고 그래. 세상에서 겹된 법을 상유권조, 겹모의 최권조, 겹주변 따로 기준권조 세대. 먼저 겹수주의 유의들라 겹숨시시라.
Last week we started by looking at what are the objects of refuge, and we saw that there are three. There's the Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, the Sangha jewel. The Buddha jewel is the founder teacher of refuge. So that's the Buddha, the historical Buddha, who's the teacher of refuge. The third jewel, the Sangha jewel, those are our companions, those most skilled of practitioners who are training in cultivating the paths of the Buddha Dharma. These are the Sangha jewel. And the Dharma jewel, those are the realizations, the good qualities which are realizations, the true cessations and true paths in the continuum of highly realized practitioners. This Dharma jewel is the actual refuge. So in brief, of those three jewels, the Buddha jewel is the teacher of refuge. The Sangha jewel are the skilled practitioners who are our companions, our Dharma friends. And then the actual refuge is the Dharma jewel. And the Dharma jewel are realizations, the realizations that are true paths and true cessations.
인지 미지 숨 창고를 숨래 많아 고야시어 말했어 나요 말 되네 숨 마찬가지나 하나 저기 개위 지 마찬가지나 하나 저기 거기 동안을 줘 두고 말이야 인지 미지다 개위 들랑서 나와 상기 비기 겹수 줘야 유 당아서 거기 동안에 교권기 다 될래야 안 잡네 건조 숨차 거래.
Moreover, last week we looked at how these the objects of refuge are these three and these three alone. There aren't more, there aren't less. It's these three: the Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, and the Sangha jewel.
안에 접수 줘야래야. 안에 점로세 생각도 줄에 깨야래야. 아니야. 규고래 줄에 때니 겨울마다 규매바 제도고 말해. 세상 규들에 점로게 규디 가르고 세네. 나뭐 규래 니셔고 니고래. 세상 코와당아서 동할래 깨내데 지금도 세비 델라 탈되게 코와당아서 동할래 꿰다제 코위 동할래 탈고 당아서 동할래 탈고도 세비게 동할래 탈되게 삼바. 마탄데 뺏사사래 세비 코와래 깨나 ngason ke bene dunga nyong kudu khowa la ke dunga tene dunga nyon pesa sa re sem khowa da nga so dunga le jiba chi ko re ji che ji ne dela thar de ke samba chi ko re di ko ji che tene ke sa de samba ke ne gar so so ne ji le ya ta khowi dung khowa da nga so dunga tha da le ke be nyuba de sul yor konjo so no yore sem chi be da ne konjo so no yeba thong wi ke thong am ta dela yi chi be deba 언제는 질고 고고래 디니유나 디니를 때네 다 먼저 점로세도 줄을 깨고래 점로게 유디 디니들이야.
As we also looked at last week, in addition to or following looking at this specific enumeration of there being only three jewels, we then spoke about that refuge. This comes in dependence on causes, and we spoke then about the two primary causes. These can be remembered in the easy formula of fear and faith. So fear then refers to coming to understand, not just intellectually, but through a deep reflection, the myriad sufferings that pervade cyclic existence, coming to see that wherever one is born within samsara, one will suffer. There is no lasting, no reliable protection from suffering as long as one remains bound in samsara. Suffering, in brief, suffering, samsara itself is pervaded by suffering. And this reflection gives rise to the wish to be freed from this continual process of uncontrolled rebirth in samsara. So here one gives rise to this wish for freedom from suffering. And this comes about for the fear of remaining bound and trapped in suffering, in the suffering realms of samsara. So that is the first cause. The second is that of faith, or better understood as a trust, where one has a deep base, or rather conviction, a conviction that the three jewels have the ability to provide protection from suffering, a lasting refuge, a lasting safe harbor from suffering. So this is a deep sense of trust or conviction that the three jewels are worthy for turning towards in order to receive guidance in how we can achieve a state that is freed from suffering, that has transcended the fears that we have for suffering in samsara.
Dang so the Kodan also Dungal and Jipaki, Della de Martana Tabinos and Biggie, Tardu Sambakiana, and the Dene, and the Dele Tubico, Kodan, Masu Dungal Tubi, Nuba Surioris, and Conjusum Yore, said, and that the Conjus Yupin. Nuba Tom, Della Ichebas, Janzo, Seming Ebatona, that the Yashua, Tomado Bene, Della Conjusum Nuba de Yore, Conjusum Yore, Ichidi, Dini Yobanzan, and the Garjors and the near some time do, and also Sumba de la Carasam Gorson, Chazadang, Duma Tata, the Conjusum Tokuri, Sembigi, Ichebig, Conjusum Tokuri, Sem Dingi, Ichidi, and that.
Having given rise to a vivid understanding of the sufferings that befall oneself and all other beings who are trapped within uncontrolled rebirth in samsara, one gives rise to this heartfelt conviction: I must attain freedom from suffering. I must transcend the bounds of suffering that is cyclic existence. Then naturally one looks for a guide, for someone who can guide us in terms of how to attain this desired freedom from suffering. And this mind of trust is what leads to, is the second cause that leads to the generation of refuge. And this trust, this conviction that in the three jewels, that they can lead us to liberation. If this is a valid cognition, that is best. But until we give rise to a valid cognition of both trust and fear, we keep cultivating our mind of refuge until our refuge arises from the very depths of our heart, our conviction that it's only through relying on the three jewels that we will be able to achieve freedom from suffering.
Conjusumi Kyokre, Sampiki Yishi, Ding on the Jamdre Sigurva. She's not the sick Dushabare. She's not done some Nalia, Kalios, Conjusumi Kyokre, Sapiki Yishi, and then also Gana Chemoche, and also Duhadi, Concho, Nuba State, Nubi Topi, Meva Circle, Sayong Resambiki, Yishi, Diribes, and Dimaria.
We've heard now in our recap that one is striving to generate what is usually called faith, but here we perhaps, to avoid this rather loaded word, we use the word trust or conviction. So we're trying to generate a conviction that the three jewels have the ability to provide us, to free us from suffering, to provide us protection from suffering. So the abbreviation, when this is discussed, it's presented in an abbreviated way. The causes are mentioned as fear and faith, and the resultant, the mind that results in this mind of refuge, is faith that the Buddhas the three jewels can provide protection from suffering. So this is the general presentation, but it's quite short. The terminology is limited. But there's a far more profound meaning behind these words, and it's imperative that these are clearly understood, because just reading the words, it sounds like one is turning towards the three jewels to eliminate our suffering for us. So rather, that would be a mistaken understanding, so one needs to understand the deeper meaning that is behind these words.
나는 안쪽에 건조숨게 내 동화 코와도 동화 타다 건조숨이 껴그래서 이치 제오래서 이치디 땅을 뒤뒤지래 디파 되스마 개발 시바이나 다 이치 제가 가르쳐서 레레라 산주 건조를 이치 제단 직제 최 건조를 이치 제단 직제 개는 걸로 이치 제단 이치 제 숨리기로 와다 대신에서 건조숨을 동화 타다를 껴베 뉴바 건조숨을 여 건조숨 껴그래서 이치 제에다 산유 건조라 이치 제고를 최 건조라 이치 제고 개는 건조라 이치 제고로 와 제가 디 대지한 저기 책 뒤제 건조섬에 이치 제고래서 책 뒤는 셔와 다디 제바이나 산유 건조라 이치 제고래 최 건조라 이치 제고래 개는 건조라 이치 제고래라고 와다 donala
having given rise then to this conviction that the three jewels can provide us with protection from suffering, we have this conviction that that all three jewels can provide us with protection from suffering. The Buddha jewel, the Dharma jewel, the Sangha jewel, that all three can provide protection from suffering.
세상다 상조권절에 이체 가는 제고를 했으네. 안주 쿨위 코와다 나서 둥을 껴게 뉴바데 상조권절을 열었어. 상조권절을 가려 열었으네. 아주 둥아 타달을 껴게 타야 둥을 타야게 탑람데 떼야디 상기를 열었어. 세상 상기 차상 탑람 용수가 긴 거랬어. 세상 탑람 긴 거래 탑람 떼 신고래 떼비게 뉴바 열어 떼 떼방을 샤리아 하는 안주 제와 열어. 세상 디네상 상계 코롱기 동안에 간에 타고도 세 냠는 제단 림바도 코롱 냠용요 그랬어. 제산 냠용을 토내 가서야 두수스는 랍제 롭된 제약이 뉴바 차상요 그랬어. 제산 뉴바 차상 여바 나신 상계기 딩하서야 롭된 제기에서 비기치들다. 상계기 교비 뉴바 여러가 상계권줄에 이치 제단 가래랍나 동안 타달에 교비기 뉴바데 상계를 여러 이치 제단이 등원을 껴보기 뉴번 냠는 제상의 상기기 킹기래 제상 상기기 킹고래 차상 상기 캠바 나진 않아서래 땡비기 뉴버대 상기 요래 뉴버 땡바 뉴버 여바 나신디 상기기 땡땡 땡기래 선비기 다 이치 땡기 마노와 마투바 아니 용수 속바데 가서 땡땡 상기기 땡기래 선비기 이치래 다디 어디 땅안 쪽에 상기래 접수 조비 이치 제상디래.
The reason that through engaging in the variety of meditations in this topic and the preceding ones leads to the point that one gives rise to unwavering conviction that the Buddha jewel has the ability to protect us is because we have come to gain certainty that the Buddha, the Buddha or the Buddha jewel has knows the methods that will lead to freedom from suffering. That the Buddha jewel knows all the various methods and techniques in a way that is complete and unmistaken. And this knowing of these methods is not a mere intellectual understanding, but this knowledge has given rise to experience. And it's this experience based on knowledge that is unmistaken and complete. And because the Buddha jewel has this unmistaken and complete knowledge of the sufferings of samsara, the methods to gain freedom from suffering, therefore, because of both of those, we can give rise to unwavering conviction that the Buddha is able to guide us in how to cultivate the unmistaken and complete methods to gain freedom from suffering.
rang jibal address sanje korong adi kon mal
adi kon de yanka kene
rimboche namba sula ni sabane jasu jo jabdo che hore se konjo sumje nga song jibal kyube nyuba inde kyub nyugires bena sanje konjo di nyudang garela ne sanje konjo de rang jiba tamje le jo se de sanje ge pangje nyumo pa chasang pang sabon ne je ba sabon ba cha de je pang cha wa de pang chasang pang cha wa de pang bu yen 명수 소바 톱사와래세. 데네 셴지바 탐지를 껴비게 탑라케. 셴지바 타다를 껴비 람냠len 제다래야 마데나들 빼 탑라케 봐. 탑시 서고 데니든지어 빼 캐바 띵 캐바래스. 다띵 캐바 인자 아니 군라 투지에 쳔보 니링 메버 주바세. 셈전 차사라 자와 잠지기 니지디 가셔를 니지다 잠저 가셔를 여바다 가셔 메바 말. 셈전 탐질라 잠진 잠바다 자와 니지 주어. 제산 잠바다 자와 니지 여반상 한 마띵기레스. 지산 띵야라 한 코롱 띵 신고를 탑라케비 코네 띵기레. 제산 코롱 띵비 뉴바요레스. 제산 다데 판다마다 탐지기 된 제바. 세데 소소를 판다하려야 파띵 소소를 판마다려야 지게 마데마데네 말에 소소를 펜 바이단다라 판마도바나 소소를 너버지 현치미네 산지게 야 예링균이 매바자 차상리야 동아세야게 탑람다 동안 드비 디기드비게 탑람 틱페 차상리 띵그리스 진짜 디네자 산지게 디네게 여바 인자 다 산지리야 동아 타달에 껴비 뉴바디 산지게 탑람데 띵그리스 비지지네 제초월에서 윰센디시월
그래서 Durangomenge Chikangchik Yigyo Japin Dante de Lengia. And last week we looked at the reasons why the Buddha jewel is a suitable object of refuge. So if we look at our text in the middle of page 21, we recap a bit of what we looked at last week. The Buddha jewel is free, so it's the middle of page 21 and the just below the 3 bullet points, the second line. The Buddha jewel is free from all fear. Being omniscient, he is a master of ways that protect from every fear. As he abides in great compassion that sees all sentient beings with equanimity. Or this line I'll just retranslate. Since his great compassion has no special affinity with certain beings and a feeling of distance towards others, regardless of whether beings have aided him or not, he engages in beneficial activities for all and is thus worthy of refuge, worthy of protection. So we looked at this last week and we saw how that the Buddha is free of all fear. And this is because, and it says in the next line, it's the next sentence, he, being omniscient, he is a master of ways that protect from every fear. We mentioned last week that the meaning here is that all faults have been completely eradicated from the continuum of a being that has become a Buddha, that has attained omniscience. There is not a single affliction or its seed or even a stain of an affliction. They have been completely eradicated, and therefore there's nothing that can harm a Buddha, and therefore the Buddha experiences no fear. And that means the Buddha's wisdom is unobscured. There is no fault that prevents the wisdom of a Buddha, the exalted wisdom of a Buddha, being omniscient. And therefore the Buddha knows all the very best, knows all the methods or the techniques to become a Buddha in a way that is unmistaken, because his wisdom is flawless. And moreover, as we see in the next line, because he has great compassion. So because of the great compassion and the great love of a Buddha, and his equanimity, that he has no special affinity with certain beings, feeling close towards some and distant from others, with this great love and compassion, he utilizes his exalted wisdom in ways to be of great benefit to others, always wanting to benefit others and being able to benefit them in accordance with their own unique karmic backgrounds and individual spiritual predispositions. And in this way, the Buddha is a unique spiritual guide. With this omniscient wisdom, he is able to help others perfectly in accordance with their own special karmic predispositions, and due to his great love and compassion, he helps all beings equally. So in these ways, through coming to reflect in great depth on the Dharma, one comes to see that a being that has attained the exalted state of, or has arisen as an enlightened being, as a Buddha, is worthy of refuge.
제상 상기기라 안저기 아동아 타다를 규비 니바디 상기 땡기리에서 미지 제바나 상기를 땡투기 내면나 선비 도과사나 근데 도과사고야 말했어. 제상 지바 타다를 좋아해서 규비 니바 차상 킹고레스. 제상 다는 킹고에 나 알을 땡기 내면나 데티 땡기 내면나 선바이나 어디 땡기리에서 가르세네 상기 좀는 되게 샬라 제와 투지 니링 요말 샤셀 제와 체다 가서 제와 총할 거네 요말 차상 지구 지경래 제산 예링 매반도 투지 신부징한들 제와 요반장 가서 땡기래서 나는 아주려 니 상길이야 판도가 제투비어 말지사 나 판도한 디글레지기 등이 야 상길이야 푸야다 초푸야다 가 판도 제가 되면 제사 되는 마 상길이 되기나면 선반에 되네요 말이스 상길이야 콜야 아주야 판다바이나다 판나마다바이나다 차상의 지구지경 마다상 아주 최소의 지구지경 송그레 마도 판다한들이 최소 판마다한의 최마송와 되네 말이스 되네 현장은 상유 좀는 데리야 심딩기 마 동아를 드베 탑람디 동아를 디기데 대하다 동아를 탑람데 상유 좀는 디기를 람마노 땡그리 샘비게 다 이시상마제 제고래서지 디리다 이시제단 디리 상계라 상유 좀는 잡수 조당은 짬로디 디리다
give rise to this a deep felt conviction that the Buddha is worthy of refuge and a worthy guide. One reflects on these points here, that a Buddha is a being who has completely purified their continuum. So they have no obscuration at all, not even the slightest stain or trace of an obscuration, which means their wisdom is unimpeded. And hence, a Buddha has an omniscient, exalted wisdom. And not only has he perfected this good quality, but so too has his love, compassion, impartiality. And with this combination, his impartial attitude, his love and compassion ensures that this omniscient wisdom is always used for the welfare of others. And thereby, he will interact with others in the most appropriate way. And this isn't independence on us doing something for the Buddha or helping the Buddha in some way, and therefore he will reciprocate. As we see in this line, his impartiality is such that he will help others solely due to his love and compassion, not independent on others first having done something to aid him. And it's through reflections such as these that a deep felt conviction arises that the Buddha is a worthy object of refuge.
다 개념 거죠. 당한도 개념 거죠라 잡수 조상데 가래람나 다 동아 타달로 주비 뉴바데 개념 거죠. 교구리에 선배기 이시제야디 당한도 간지 제고래람나 지상 개념 거죠. 세야디 파베 강사 상유 점nen디기 송셰비기 철이야 냠는제 상유 점nen데라 대바제지도 제 상유 철 대바제지도 제 소속이 냠는제 또바 줄레게 되나 파베 강사들이 지상 공원줄이야 냠용요래 상유 송셰비 냠는제 동안을 되게 탑람 가대가는 제 냠용요래 지상 냠용요 봐서 되니기 파베 강사들이야 공원줄이 안으로 록된된 지레스 지상 상유기 뜀비 송셰비 안으로 탑람 떼디 만저 마신 바다 하 먹어 와려 양아주게 지래 안 파베 가사디 양아주로 로지기리스 당아 로고 땡땡 지기리스 다티니 로보 맞아 버기니 지기 마 로지기리스 선배게 셈 딩기 이시제들이다 파베 가사디기 니 냠는 제당이야 아니 사지기 냠는 제당 동화세야다 디기주에 냠는 제 뜀셰바디 니 냠는 지리 파베 가사디기 말이야 로 땡땡 지기리스 셈 딩기 이시제들이다
That then was the method, or the way to go for refuge to the Buddha-jul. The way then to go for refuge to the Sangha-jul is, so the Sangha-jul are Arya beings. So these are practitioners who are training in the Buddha Dharma. And not only are they training in the Buddha Dharma, but they have attained powerful realizations in their continuum. So these are highly realized practitioners. And due to the power of their good qualities, they will from their side will be seeking to aid us and guide us, and they will be our companions on the path, our companions in our endeavors to also spiritually develop. So these are highly skilled and qualified Dharma practitioners who have gained extremely powerful realizations on their continuum. So here we generate a trust from deep within us that these are beings who will definitely be there to aid us, will be our role models, will be our guides. So it's these reflections, it's through these reflections that we generate the mind of refuge towards the Sanghacho.
Bendigo, Bendigo, Chuche Jala Yapuji, Penny Computer, Soyaro, Dambo, Sentibachi, Koron, Shimji Yapuji, Shimji Yapu, Koron, Shinsane, Korongi, Depchi Zomiorwada, the Dindit in the Sora, Dindit in Sora, Depchi Tisha. She's a Denegi, Dambo Yapu, Shin, Depchi Hendi, Tigendi Nampi, Tumbasan Jumnendi, Captain Bobasan, San Yujum Koron, Yamyon, Jeje, that Duhase, Tablam Dindit in the Gombo, DJ or Sadi, my Beshi Sunshairova, Deda. Tumbasan Jumni Peru, Sunday. Da Jama and Deputy Sosoranagi is Jang Je, Yen in the Jang, Nya Tu Yang Niano Jang, Sosugi, Nyamyonos, Saradu, and Korongi Yen Je, Shandalia, Labrapus, Lagurua, on Dusu Chewar, the said, Jedu Korongi, Yamas, the Tambo Zongan Deputy Sunship, Delet, Nyamyoje, Jang, Soso, Nyamyos, and my Lagurua. The getting Genjonage. Says I get in Gojo said the San Yujum, you soon shall be Dungase and Digi to be a Talam delia, soon shall but Tursum Gomsum Yamnenje, Soso Yamyo, Topo Gula Gage, Tinishale, Lagoro, Rochigoro, on Dinage, Pene, that the Yen Seniki Hendi, Lobdupos, Lobche, Lobden Jebanashi, Pediro, Chibachagore.
An analogy that we can perhaps relate to is that if we think of several, perhaps a century or so ago, or less than a century ago, there were no computers in this world. But then great engineers slowly started to put these brilliant ideas into place and created these amazing machines and composed manuals on how they created these amazing machines. And then others came and studied these and then shared what they had learned, perhaps replicated what had been created before, and then shared their knowledge and taught it to others. And in dependence on that, then students entering into university who would have known very little about computing, they would have been able to learn from those who had studied the manuals that had been written by the fathers of modern computing. And in this way, they too became skilled in computing and developed knowledge and experience within themselves, just like their university lecturers have. So we can take that analogy and think that of the fathers of modern computing are like the Buddhas, and those who then studied what they had come to know, and then taught it to others in universities, they are like the Sanghacho. And they are passing on this knowledge based not just on what they've studied, but also what they have done, so their experience based on their knowledge. And they're passing it on now to a new generation of students. So in this way we can understand the relationship between the Buddha-cho and the Sangha-cho.
Gotinda Lamdini se, Chisanda Dina and the Chugonjuga Tardu, Kasa Yangdi, said Chagurwa Danzo. Chisa, that Tarbat and Sanye Jumnendigi, Lam di Gom Guri, Dine Duma, Dine Sigri, Simpi, Tablam Dunshen Bading and Zugi Yamlenche. Delia Chu, Snai Public and Dungi and Ansolo Robache. Manzo Machine Ballet, Lobdunjia, and Yamlenche Robache. Manzo Yamlenche. Yamlenche and Anzugula Topa Gulake, Lamden se Gulake, Di Yamlen Chebala, Dene, Taranzugula, and the Korea Duma, Tada Pambe Pamba, Goktension. There Gokten di Choconcho, Choconcho. Says not Pambe Pamba de Gokten, Choconcho. Pamba Gokten, Tobeg, Lam, Yamlenje, Lamden. Says not Lamden, Yamlen Chebala, Dene Garson, Korea Duma, Tada Pambe Pamba Gokten Togo. Says not that. Lamden and Gokten Yiboding House, Gulakevaina, then I was doing a Tatala Sigore. Chesa Dinenza, Chukunjo said, Susu Gula, Sanye Jumnendi, Sun Shape, Dumbig, Sun Shape, Deliang as a Yamlenche, Public doing Angela, Raw Chepa, Latine, Susun Yamlenche, Susu Gula, Chukunjo said, Gulake on du, Kovidunga Tatala, Jagiri, Simpiki, Yisamache did it. Just doing all the Jogure, say Yishi, that Chukonjo don't want to answer Gulaki, then do all the Jogore, China Chukonzo, Pabi, Kora Tata Bomba Yangdi, is a told Koala Dressade, just don't call it Larian Koala Yomarwa.
And thirdly, the way to go for refuge to the Dharma jewel is, as the first one, reminds ourselves of what is the Dharma jewel, and it's the realizations of true paths and true cessations. So it's these realizations that are the Dharma jewel. And the Dharma jewel is, these realizations are the actual refuge. So the Sangha jewel are our companions and our guides in our cultivation of the Dharma jewel within our continuum. They are accompanying us and guiding us based on their knowledge and experience, because the Sangha jewel are Arya beings. And Arya beings are beings who have achieved the Dharma jewel within themselves. They have cultivated true paths and true cessations within their own continuum. So here we go for refuge to the Dharma jewel with a deep faith, a deep-held conviction that through generating the Dharma jewel within ourselves, in other words, through generating realizations and their cessations within our own continuum, that we will be able to attain freedom from suffering. Because the cessation, the true cessation, is the elimination of the afflictions together with their seeds. And this is a complete elimination of the afflictions together with their seeds, hence the freedom of suffering. So here one has this, when one goes for refuge to the Dharma jewel, one has a deep-held conviction that it's through training in the Buddha Dharma under the guidance of the Sangha jewel that we will give rise to true cessations and true paths within our own continuum, and thereby we will achieve the Dharma jewel ourselves. And this freedom of suffering is something that we can achieve in reliance on the three jewels.
다른 장안조 건조선은 겹수조 건조 동화 탈로 집에 뉴버 건조선 요래 세비 이치 될야 바야월 쳔마선의 야월 숨차용도 안데 개발 쳔의 야월 숨리 제가 아주 낭비의 상기 비기 건조라 겹수준 점로 제타디 상계려야 꽃잡 덤버버리 제가 겹 아주 동화를 되게 탑람다 디기르비어 탑람 마노와 마추버 마상와 상와 차상 마상와 메바 상와지 땡게레 셈비기 땡비 뉴바요레 땡게레 셈비 이시디 상요권쇼라 겹수디비 점조하세요 나 게든고조 파베 게든고조 디기 간주길 사예기 땡지베 람님린 제야랴 만졸랴 마싱바라 싱바자바 또 람든 제야다 탑식가데 또는 간주 이야기 줘야랴 로봇 땡땡 제게레서 비시디제 디게든고조라 겹수로 점로들이 당아주 냠수 렘발레 때네 상기 손셰비 가주 냠수레 게든고조 가주 로체발레 때네 한 상기 손셰비 탑람딩 가주 냠는 제네 아주 귤라 안에 타르 안에 최권조 세진 귤레 기어도 안에 가서 변에 최권조 안에 조 안에 거기 동아 타다 빵배 빵보 곡된다 람딘지보도 귤레 기어도 안에 거기 동아 타라 조아래 저그리 선배 20장마들이다 되네 아주 귤레 기다 거기 동아를 저그리 했으면 20 템보지게디 디초권조라 겹수를 점로래 세상 아주 남바 상기 비권주스는 겹수를 점로디 되네 지도고 그러다
Here we're talking about generating a strong and unwavering conviction that the three jewels have the ability to protect us from suffering, and this conviction is the mind that is the mind of refuge. So refuge has three divisions in accordance with the three jewels, and the way then, and to summarize now, the way that Buddhists go for refuge to the three jewels is the Buddha jewel is seen as the teacher of refuge, the founder of the Buddha Dharma, the teacher of refuge. And he has taught the complete and unmistaken method to attain freedom from suffering and full enlightenment itself. So here through these reflections, one generates unwavering trust or faith in the Buddha jewel, in his omniscience, his love and his compassion, and thereby his ability to guide and protect. And then in relation to the Sangha jewel, these are our companions on the path. These are the ones who guide us whilst we're trying to cultivate paths which are currently unknown to us, paths which we have never yet been able to generate within ourselves, mental paths we've never yet been able to generate within ourselves. So they are our companions who are guiding us in this process of cultivating the methods or the techniques that the Buddha has shown. So here we generate unwavering trust in the Sangha jewel, in their skill at being able to guide us. And then thirdly, in terms of the Dharma jewel, the actual refuge, here we have unwavering trust that it is through following the Buddha Dharma and being guided by the Sangha that one will give rise to the Dharma jewel within our own continuum. This Dharma jewel which already exists in all kinds of Arya beings, whether they are the Arya Sangha or the Arya Buddha, they have true cessations and true paths in their continuum. And this, through their guidance, is what we are trying to generate within ourselves, the actual refuge, the Dharma jewel. And it is its generation within us that will provide the actual protection from suffering. So here, the mind of refuge is having a stable conviction or trust, a stable trust or faith in the three jewels, that this is the method for gaining freedom from suffering. Now turning to the text, so in the middle of this final large paragraph on page 21, because he himself has these qualities, it follows that his teachings, the Dharma and the Sangha established by him, are also worthy. So this line then links to what we've been looking at in our review this evening, and what is stated in these lines above.
차사 랑이 캠바치 구고래 제자 랑이 캠바치 다 여바 시글이야 랑이 챤레 땡헬이야 제와 투지 챤보 여바치 구고 예링 메바치 구고래스 데니기 메디켄 치르바 템바이나다 아저 낭바이나다 데니는 텝템바보 문에 차투고 말해서 그래 데레 치르 템바 당세데 디바르나 치르 템바 당세데.
The next line, I'll read my own translation. As the founder teachers of non-Buddhist traditions, their teachings and their senior followers lack these same good qualities. They are not suitable to turn to for refuge, for protection. So read this retranslation of this line again. As the founder teachers of non-Buddhist traditions, their teachings and their senior followers lack those same good qualities. They are not suitable to turn to for refuge, for protection. The meaning of this line then isn't about discriminating between this religion and that religion and asserting one over the other, but rather it's saying that these specific qualities that have been mentioned here, that a being that has attained perfection, a being that has become a Buddha, these qualities are only found in the continuum of a Buddha. The omniscient consciousness, impartiality, love and compassion, to the extent that they are perfected. These are the strength of these qualities are only found within a Buddha. And therefore they can provide the most skilled presentation on how to attain freedom from suffering, and attain lasting, stable happiness.
tarchimbaji mebaina captain bobo chak mares or captain bobo di captain bobo mares ta chue said chue den dagare chue said an ngaro jugi chue gon chodi ngaro jula kiyodu an gyula kiyodu ngaro ju khurwe dungale pen chue gon cho ta nyangati said gyula kiyodu khurwe dunga tadale pangbe pangba tobung tobedo khorwa dungale jetugo ro jesan chue gon cho tardu chue gon cho dela 저기 gyula kiyodu khurwe dungale tartubamda dunga paya delaya dunga rimba mangbo yore chesan ta ganje le chue konche rangla gyula kiyodu soso rangla pabe gansa cha gores pabe gansa cha tuba ko gores chesan chue konche de gyula ki denigi chikke baina pabe gansa cha tu soso rang gyula tokpa de chue konche chikke baina soso rang pabe gansa cha tu mena di chue konche ngone 자기가 말 chue konche 말해서 그래 chue konche 말해라고 그래
To understand this point here, then let's start by looking at why Arya Bodhisattvas, Arya hearers and solitary realizers, are not included within the Buddha jewel, but being Arya beings are included in the Sangha jewel. And this is because the Buddha jewel, as we've heard, is called the teacher of refuge. And the meaning behind this is that the teacher of refuge has perfected all good qualities. So even an Arya Bodhisattva or an Arya hero or solitary realizer, as great and noble as these beings are, they haven't attained a state of perfection yet. There are still faults on their continuum. Their good qualities, whilst great, are not yet perfect, or not yet perfected. So therefore, Arya Bodhisattvas and Arya heroes and solitary realizers are not teachers of refuge, they are not part of the Buddha jewel, but just the Sangha jewel. So similarly, in the same way, the founders of other religious traditions, they haven't yet perfected all good qualities and completely eradicated all faults, and therefore are not suitable to be included within the Buddha jewel, and therefore not suitable to be objects of refuge. Moreover, that's that to make that point, and there's a different point then to make. The Dharma jewel, as we heard before, is the true cessations and true paths, these realizations in the continuum of Arya beings. So there are many levels of the afflicted minds, of coarseness down to subtlety. So there are varying degrees of true cessations that are attained, and some of these will correspond to the varying levels of nirvana, and others will not. But all these true cessations and true paths, whether they whichever level of subtlety of afflicted mind they eradicate, are all counted amongst the Dharma jewel. So in other words, whether the attainment is of the level of one of the levels of nirvana or not, is still counted as the Dharma jewel. But this Dharma jewel that we as practitioners are striving to cultivate within ourselves, the mark of having generated the Dharma jewel is not that one has attained a realization, but it's when one becomes an Arya being. The Dharma jewel is only found within an Arya being, with an Arya Bodhisattva, hero, solitary realizer, or Buddha. The Dharma jewel is only found within the continuum of an Arya being. So therefore, as a practitioner, when we striving to cultivate the Dharma jewel, when we actually do achieve it, not only will we have within our continuum the Dharma jewel, but we will also be counted amongst the Sangha jewel, because we will have become an Arya being.
Debi nyomong ngonjuwa zambang te bang tuwa yungure. Deso nga zuki chwe kongcho chego mara. Deso debi ngonjo sinye drup tingye zang komje debi ngonjuwa bangba debi nyomong ngonjuwa bangba inaya sosorang pabe kansa chatugo mara. Nza debi nyomong ngonjuwa bangba digi chwe kongcho chego mara. Kasan di bangba inaya sosorang pabe kansa chatugo mara. An dina shi nga zuki jige ta sinye 신의 냠 냠내 신의 냠내 제 신의 디게 최고죠 말에 신의 규를 깨바이나 소소한 파베 간사 차도 말에 디마생하는 저기 초람나 조람세야 디기로와 초람나 조람세야 되는 저 규를 깨바이나 드누 파베 간사 차고 말 제가 초람나 조람 디게 최고죠 차고 말 저는 최고죠 차발라 소수 규라 디 빵베 빵바이나다 라미나다 소수기 최고죠 이나 니랑의 규를 깨연도 소소한 간사의 파베 간사 차도 가지고 되는 진짜 최고죠인 거 그래지 지상 대인자 최고죠 세야 되는 거 그래서
Just to expand on this point, that it's only when one attains the true cessations and true paths, that level of realization, that one gives rise to the Dharma jewel within one's continuum, becomes an Arya being and therefore a Sangha jewel. So just to expand on that point, one attains many levels of realization before that. For example, at one point one will realize calm abiding, develop that also with the mind of a special insight or penetrative insight. And when one achieves the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, one suppresses all the afflictions of the desire realm. So this is quite remarkable. But one is not considered an Arya being, or one is not considered a Sangha jewel, despite having suppressed all of one's afflictions in the desire realm. And why one isn't considered a Sangha jewel is because one is not an Arya being. So this realization of calm abiding, and those who have it in their continuum, are not Aryas and not Sangha jewels. And if they take this realization of calm abiding and meditative insight and cultivate minds of definite emergence and bodhicitta and generate bodhicitta, both of these in an uncontrived manner, and achieve a path of accumulation, then this realization is not the realization of the Dharma jewel, and this being is not a person who is a Sangha jewel. They've achieved a mental path, a path of accumulation, but that is not a true cessation. And if they develop this further and achieve the next of the 5 paths, the path of preparation, still they are not a Sangha jewel. They have not achieved the Dharma jewel because they have not achieved a true path or a true cessation. This only comes when the 3rd of the 5 paths is achieved, the path of seeing. When the path of seeing is achieved, then one achieves a true cessation, a true path, the Dharma jewel, and becomes a Sangha jewel because one is now an Arya being. And then as one continues one's progression and develops the path of seeing into the path of meditation, and continues to progress and eventually achieves the 5th path of no more training, all throughout this process, one has the Dharma jewel and one is a Sangha jewel.
다 개념 건조 세리아 다래 소수기 상계 점лен디 유송제비 최가서다 냠린 제제 파비 강사 최권조 랑의 규례 예제 냠린 제제 최권조의 랑의 규례 예바지고 그래 진짜 랑의 규례 예바는 파비 강사래 진짜 니 그런기 냠녀 차상 유례 봐 최고 진짜 되니기 소수기 냠린 제제 최권조의 랑의 규례 예면은 니 개념 건조 말해서 그때 개념 건조 말해서 최권조 규례 깨면은 람딘 최권조 랑 규례 깨면은 되니게 가사디 최 개념 건조 말해서
So Sangha jewel, someone who is a Sangha jewel is an Arya being. And they are an Arya being because they have generated the Dharma jewel in their continuum. And they have generated that through their own training, their own practice. And therefore, they have a true path, a true cessation. Someone who lacks a true path or cessation has not given rise to the Dharma jewel, and therefore is not an Arya being and not a Sangha jewel.
Pangja chasa panggoya pang shingoya yenden chasa ma shingba ina gyapdön baba di chagi mares. Dele gyapsu drona ane weba mares or tekase gyapsu drona dösos labjade dösos osos de yungurete tarba lam nyamnen tarchiye lam de dön tuya yo mares dün tu mares jere. Da chö konjo de di chö konjo de gyula ki de rani pabe gansa chagi chatugu mena di chö konjo mares. Jisan dele gyapsu drona gyapsu weba mare labdu janda지나 어디 약보라선 겹수 전화 디디데 이내 소소 디냠는 제지 디규레게는 파베 가자 차토야요 말이자 겹수 해봐 말했어 기둥 건조라 아니 최건조 토비기 연대는 매바 있나 아니 델라 겹수 줘봐 겹수 해봐 말했어 예 해봐 말했어도 람차사 로버치 두 말했어 그래서 누버요 말해 그래서 소소기 냠면 매라 와서 베는 솔람바다 졸람발이야 아니 베는 최 냠는 지지로 전cap 로버치로 지름 로데 지기로 이내 파베 남기 냠는 제할 남자 차상 혼술을 된 두야기 누버요 말 세상 겹수 해봐 말했어 세상 겹수 해봐 미외스 겹수 해고 말했어
So now to comment on the second part of this sentence. So it's referring to those who lack the same good qualities as the Buddha jewel, and because they lack them, they are not suitable to turn to for refuge, for protection. So the meaning here is that those who have not completely eliminated all faults from their continuum are not suitable to be called the teacher of refuge, in other words, a Buddha, or the Buddha jewel. And this is because they have not having eliminated all faults completely, they have not perfected the cultivation of the mental paths. And therefore they are not suitable as a teacher of refuge. And therefore, and then those who have and so that's to do with the first jewel, the Buddha jewel. Then those who those teachings that are not coming from those teachings that are not coming from the inner realizations, which are true cessations and true paths. Those teachings are not suitable objects of refuge either, because they will not. They lack the ability, perhaps, to lead to the practitioners to develop the Dharma jewel within themselves. So to repeat that again, teachings that are not the Dharma jewel, that are not true cessations and true paths, are not suitable objects of refuge, because they will not lead to such realizations, because they are not such realizations. And similarly with those who have not developed the Dharma jewel within themselves, they are not suitable to be called the Sangha jewel, or to be turned to for refuge. So even if they have the path of accumulation or preparation in their continuum, they are not yet skilled enough to be counted amongst the Sangha jewel. And this is because they lack the skill that comes with having cultivated the Dharma jewel within themselves, having become an Arya being, having gained true paths and true cessations in their continuum.
디지기 년대 니버 요 말해서 그래. 니버 연된 차상 댕켜와 요 말해서 그래. 베네디로 베나가서 멤버로 장제 멤버기 롭종 차상 튼서나 멤버 제발 냠용로 먹고 싸우러와. 그 맹이 장사와 점지 그 멤버 샤슈장 멤버 제기 외바 말해서도 가수리 규진 맞은 차상 연된 차상 상요 말가서 멤버 제기 그 냠용도 싸우러와. 진짜 냠용마 싸와지 먼저 롭절 친 맹기 돈에 장지 꼴을 통용도 템바 점지 그 멤버 대샤슈 멤버 차그리베스네 차하고 차그로 가서 이내 콜레 갈가서 뭐 해요 와다 데네데 제월 데네데 해월 해 가서 판도 제투야 요르데 이내양 멤버기 샤주지기 멤버 제기 다도 외바 마레스티 연된 차상 상고 냠용 싸고 니래 냠용 싸고 그 냠용 싸요 말래로 어디 나시래다 파베 데네기 연된 되어서 여바 이내양 소소리야 냠용 차상 매바 있나 제사 디제기 니버 연된 차상 요 말에서 오다 겸로 겹유제기 생기 겹야기 연된 차상 요 말에 당에 요 말에서 오다 겹소 외바 말에서 돼.
So to understand this more clearly, to understand that that others are not suitable objects of refuge because they lack the ability to lead one to a state they have yet to achieve themselves. We can maybe understand this in a more worldly context. If we go to see a doctor, we will go and see a doctor who we have confidence that she has studied well and gained experience. And with these two qualities, both her knowledge and her experience based on that knowledge, we can have trust in her, confidence in her. But if someone is still a mere medical student, whilst they may have a good nature, they will have some knowledge, but they lack knowledge and they certainly lack experience. Such a medical student may be worth talking to, but not worth relying on. We may hear what they have to say, think about what they have to say, but we would certainly be correct in having some doubt about what they say. They wouldn't be suitable to rely on because of the lack of knowledge, and in particular the lack of experience. They aren't able to guide others or help their patient based on experience.
군조 숨라 연된 제대로 예배 접수 줘 외소 시대 대신한서 군조 숨라 연된 제대로 예배 접수 줘 외소 시대 대신한서 셰기 캡텐 바바 상요 군조 샤다 추어 군조 샤다 기든 군조 샤다 연된 데네데 거래 셰로와 지산 데니게 군조 숨들 연된 데네 여바 인자 접수 줘는 지기리에서 접수 줘 외소 접수 줘는 지기리에서 연된 데네 상면에 될 접수 줘는 먼저야 안에 지게 강아체 닝아 여러서 접수 봐 말에 지산 군조 숨라 데니게 연된 데 상완자 접수 외바에서 접수 줘는 지기리에서 콘솔에 접체게 연된 차상 요래에서 그래.
The final line in this paragraph, because Buddha, Dharma and Sangha possess these sublime qualities, they indeed are worthy. The qualities, of course, what we have been mentioned before. And so here again, one is being encouraged to go to refuge for protection to those who are fully qualified, because those who lack these qualities, they have not been able to attain liberation themselves, and therefore relying on their advice, their guidance, is likely to lead to further unwanted problems and difficulties.
간이 남기 초 상제라 접수 치고 다 코와다 나송은 등어는 드비 땜바 제도 솔로선 내 식디디래.
At the bottom of the page, how do you take refuge in the three jewels? So that's been looked at now above. And then at the top of page 22, I take refuge in the perfect Buddha. Please show me how to free myself from samsaric sufferings in general and from the lower realms in particular.
That is so. But 간이 남기 초 상제라 접수 치고 저도 상제라 접수 치 Sitting on the capsule, Sangila, the Dunga Tata, the Cubi, Nuba, Sangi, Liores, Sangi, Jobroche, such Yurvada, just chase it. Just not the guns like was in Da Koa, Dangasung, and Dunga, and Tribute, Dumbaji sauce. Ma, Koi Dunga Tata, the Dreadang, Mansung do that, Dunga Tata, and Dribi, Chedo, Lamden Chasan, Kurong, zero chase, Galia, Dumbaji, Pa Lamden, and the Kuromado. 결혼 제로시 했다 결혼은 누가 두 결혼의 긴거를 결혼 누가 결혼은 제로지 아 결혼기 덤바 결혼 라바들 양이 타직동의 제수 두기 냠는 지기세네 이지제야 되래다 진짜 되지셔야 되래 먼저데 덤바 상이 줄에 접수 줘도야 코와다 동안 가서도 두비 덤바 지도서 결혼이 긴 제로시라고 그러던다 말람 땡켄 마노 마초 땡켄데 결혼하다 결혼을 람땡로체스 다 결혼 결혼라 땡게 누버요레 제상 결혼은 땡 투부레 제사세데 차상 이지지야 되래다.
Let's start to look at then the meaning that should come to mind as one reads a verse like this. I take refuge in the perfect Buddha. Why? And that's now the second sentence. Please show me how to free myself from samsaric sufferings in general and from the low realms in particular. The meaning then in this second line is, I recognize that you, the teacher of refuge, the Buddha jewel, you have the knowledge and experience gained through the process of becoming an omniscient being, from becoming a Buddha. Please guide me. Please teach me. I want to be your student. Teach me, guide me, based on your infallible knowledge and experience. So that is the meaning behind here. So here this request is being made with unshakable conviction that the Buddha has this unfailing knowledge and experience, and therefore we are requesting, please show me, so guide me, teach me.
난 철에 접수 조단에 가래 최고절라 접수 조단에 가래라네 되차단 저와는 게 철철라 접수 치고 다 코와당 한송이 지벌을 죄비게 접고서 제도 솔로스 어디서 올다 sik게
I take refuge in the Dharma, the supreme abandonment of attachment. Please be my actual refuge and lead me to freedom from the terrors of samsara in general and in the low realms in particular.
세상 쪽이 되차단 저와 쪽이 코와당 고유 동할래야 즉 세상 코에 유디 되차 공동 하자 녀모 비치고 세상 되차단 되차 최고권적세디 되차게 년보 람덴디게 되차도 녀모베 년보길래 년보래 세상 디 람덴 공부할 때네 곡된 녀모바 빵베 빵바 곡된디 최고권적세로 세상 데네기 최고권적세딩이 귤에 깨봐 있는다 최고권적들라 귤에 깨어도 동아래 교배 누바 차상 땡땡 교불에 선비게 이시제 철라 접수 치워서야 돼. 제가 되는 자 이시제 반사 다 코와당 가송이 지벌에 조비게 잡모수 세도서에서도 제가 나중에 잡도 최고주 귤에 끼어도 다 코와당 가서 동아래 교와도 원내디 지거로 봐. 진짜 잡모수 세도서 되는 원내 교불에 선비 이시제야 되다.
I take refuge in the Dharma, the supreme abandonment of attachment. Please be my actual refuge and lead me to freedom from the terrors of samsara in general and in the lower realms in particular. So here when you're going to refuge to the Dharma jewel, we have the recognition that all the sufferings in cyclic existence come from or caused by the afflicted mind, such as attachment, anger, and ignorance. These are the causes of all suffering. And moreover, the Dharma is the unmistaken path that leads to freedom from the afflictions. The Dharma is the unmistaken path that leads to freedom from attachment, from anger, and from ignorance. So here, we are generating, in this refuge aspect, in this part of the refuge, returning towards the Dharma jewel, the recognition that it's through cultivating the Dharma within our own continuum that we will thereby attain freedom from the sufferings of samsara. And it's because the generation of the Dharma jewel in our own continuum, the true cessations and true paths, are or is liberation from suffering, the Dharma jewel itself is the actual refuge. As we see here, please be my actual refuge, be my actual protection, because the actual protection from suffering, or liberation from suffering, is the generation of the Dharma jewel within us.
Sonam Gyatso Gedun la Gyatso Chewa sa da Gedun go la Gyatso ra shi gro Sonam Gyatso Gedun la Gyatso Chewa da ko wa da ngan song ge dung le zhe bi zhou zi de solos je zan co se de ngan zu co sa ti ba jiang yu mong ba gom nyam le je gi na ne da nyam nyo yu khen ai je di pa be Gedun di ge nyam nyo yu ko ran zi nyam le nyam nyo yu ba za de le ya an de chi ro chi ge le sa bi yi chi ding gi yi chi che ya da je ne za 다 코와다 말씀을 눈을 줘비기 다 탑람 로봇 제한테 결혼랑 제도 제로 제해야 돼. 결혼 지기리 기능 건조 지기리에서 비 아니 이제 상마 쳐야 돼.
And thirdly, I take refuge in the Supreme Sangha, the spiritual community. Please protect me from the misery of samsara and especially from the lower realms. So here we're turning to the Arya beings, the Arya Sangha. And these beings who have such great skill and experience, and we're requesting, be my companions, my role models, guide me and assist me in my spiritual development. You who have knowledge, you have experience, who have cultivated parts of the Dharma within yourself, be my role model, be my companion in my own spiritual development.
지난시 타반에 닝타반에 심딩기 다 지네 덤베네 덤바 볼에 상여세 덤바보디 문에 တင်투위나 메나 선비게 도바사나 로링기 델야 겹투이 니바 덤베 니바 요라스메 로링기 이치 리고마 심딩기 이치 리고마와 직진은 뜬기데 삼바이나 야 디나시 최공조세디 귤레 계속나 콜비 동아리아 바야디 투위나 메나 제지게 콜 파베 가사 차 투위나 메나 선비 도바사나 지진은 도구니 지긴 도구 말에 삼바이나 로 링기 이치치 도구 말 이치리고 말 세상 기린 거죠 되게 양한 최념는 제발이야 지로 제 투기네 메나 코로나 로제 누버 연나메나 삼백 삼바이나 근데 심 링기 이치리 도구 말 데네기 제발은 점도 야불리고 말 세상 데네 인상 심 링기야 캡트모 볼이야 상요 컨트롤에 캡트비 누버 요래 세상 차상 코로나 때 누버 코로나 땡게레 샘비기 이시제다 최고조세야데 당아주 귤레 계연도 가서 녀모 빠야고 고주고래 제가 최고조세야데 귤레 나 파베 가서 차투그래 제가 최고조 나내장 안에 녀모 빵베 빵비게 시원 양디에서도 귤레 계연도 고외동아 타갈래 저거래 셈비 셈딩기 이시제야데 다 대토비하기 대장 녀모바 타달로 드비 저 빵바 토비알에 이 람냠린 제엘이야 안두수 제와 지 제발이야 말이야 마싱바다 하모호발에 로지겐 람든 지겐 파베 가사디 로고 땡땡 지기리 셈비기 셈딩기 이시제야 돼 제가 디네기 숨들라 캡템보폴라 상여점들라 캡템보보 땡비게 이시 딩기 이시제야다 최고control 캡무기 이시치야 딩기 이시치야 개령 거절라 아니 아주 최주변 냠내지 로봇 제ken기 셈 딩기 이시치야디 셈 딩기 이시치야디다 디레 잠로세 차고래
While reciting these lines, generate an actual sense of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha from the depths of your heart. This paragraph here brings out a key point that is essential for one's refuge practice to actually be a practice of going for refuge. And that's in this last phrase we have here, from the depths of your heart. So this comes about independent on extensive study and reflection on what one has studied, or receiving many teachings and reflection on these. Because what this expression shows is that all doubt has been overcome. There's not any kind of wavering within the mind, thinking that, well, perhaps Buddhism is the unmistaken path, or perhaps some aspects of the Dharma are good, others I'm not so sure about. all that aside, or the Sangha, well, yeah, maybe them and others, all that kind of wavering mind, of doubt, has been overcome based on reasoning of knowledge, based on knowledge. So here then, someone who goes for refuge from the depth of their hearts knows that a Buddha is a being who has completely eradicated all faults and perfected all good qualities, and therefore they are completely trustworthy and reliable, in that they are reliable in the sense that they teach the complete and unmistaken method to others, enabling them too to become a Buddha. Moreover, they are reliable due to this great strength of their love and their compassion, their willingness to always be there for others. And with this combination of the omniscient exalted wisdom and love and compassion, will always guide beings in accordance with their own individual personalities. Moreover, someone who goes for refuge to the Sangha has conviction that these highly developed practitioners will be their companions on the path, beings that they can relate to, beings who will be their role models, who will guide them in the cultivation of the minds of the Buddha Dharma within themselves. And then thirdly, that the Dharma itself is the actual refuge, in particular through following the guidance of the Sangha, through following the advice from the founder teacher. One will give rise to varying degrees of realization until one gives rise to actual true path and true cessation, and gives rise to the Dharma jewel within oneself. And that is the actual protection from suffering, because that is freedom from suffering, when the mind is freed from suffering because all suffering has ceased. When one has unwavering conviction in this, then one will take a refuge from the depths of one's heart and will have actual refuge.
Chesada kibo chungi jamdo chedan kane kandere sa jamdo kandere kibo dingi jamdo kandere ki samtana kandere sa kibo chimbi ki jamdo sa de kandere dele samtana kandere sa o dinigi chike yongore jizandi ko da kibo chungi jamdo dan kibo dingi jamdo kibo chimbi jamdo ko da dini jamdo ki chene jamdo ke labjala jangko kore labjala labjang chesan jamdo ke labjala kande jangko re sa de tinga zo jema.
And the next week we'll continue and we'll look at how one goes for refuge in accordance with one's innermost aspirations. And here the refuge is how refuge is related to in accordance with one's spiritual capacity. So whether one's spiritual capacity is at an initial level, or at an spiritual capacity is at an intermediate level, or one's spiritual capacity is of a supreme level. Then we will look at how those different beings of different capacities go for refuge. And moreover, we'll come to the precepts or the trainings of refuge.
Rangshen Sama Dunga Tada le Jogures, Rang Dangshen Semjan Sama Korea Dunga Tada le Jogudus, Chesanda Dunga Korea Dada Dunga Tada le Joa Chebigi, Tabla Duncan, the Captain Baba Sanje, Sanje Jumnen Digi Dungere, Sebigi Yichidang, Na Sanje Jumnen Digi, Gabro Dun Shebigi, Yamnen de Langanzo Chevala, Kiningo Chugiro, Chigiri, Nubadi, Kiningo Chugiro, Kiningo Chigiri, Sambada. Denigi Jebala Tene Anzuki Chu Conchos, the Gula Geba, Gula Gesson by the Ranshan Sami Gula di Kitubaina, then Ranshan Samo Korea Dunga to Kore, something Ishama, Chizan di Jebi Tone, Anzuki, Semjan Tam, Jedunga Tada la Joa, Jem the Conchos Mugri, some Ichi Tone, Anzuki, Getcher, Gang to do Duyada, Majona, Chanchu Sem Gumyade. Jamninjo Comia, Tonio Comia, Tichasa, the Dambo Jamro Samta, Di Joe, Dondala, Yamlin Jabal, and Josa, Saji Sunadela, Jamninjo Comor, Tonio Concure, Kawasa, or Diva Jungle Sungorua, Chitasungi, Lapjeti, Jangu, SMJ, Dinichabaina, and then Jamninjo Comia, Tonio Comiare, and Dimebe, and Anjuki Jimbe, Yamlancha, Sudum Yamlancha, and Jigger Sosugi. Many Sayade, and then Karasabi, Chapuya, and the Conjolia, Chebupuya, Losoba, Kare, Jebin, Duschina, some Dajene, and Jebina, Azuki, Diringi, Azuki, Jebiki, Lapjaki, Lingua, did it. Dinyamne count to Chiducia, and Sugar, and Langa Dune, you see in the conscious do not talk on some good do a Tadala Cuban new by the conscious Gugri, and be Ichichia Chida, and didn't the ends of conscious Lapchetunship be Kedik, Gawata, Dipa, Payada, because a Dipa Payada, Gawa, Yamlenche, the account of Chidu Chigi, some chair, and some touching as a count of Chedi, Yamlenche did it.
Before one engages in any spiritual activity, whether one is going to meditate on love or compassion, or cultivate the wisdom realizing emptiness, or engage in meditations on developing an ethical outlook, or a loving outlook, or a generous outlook, or engage in some kind of purification practice or accumulation of virtue, perhaps through doing prostrations or recitation of any mantra such as Om Mani Padme Hum, then one goes for refuge. And the way to go for refuge is based on the outcome of having done these reflections that were presented tonight. And one goes for refuge on behalf not just of oneself, but others too, in that one goes for refuge, understanding that all beings are the same as us in wanting freedom from suffering. And all beings are the same as us in that they fear suffering. So with this having generated this fear of the sufferings of samsara, but with our conviction, our heartfelt conviction in the three jewels, we then turn towards the teacher of refuge, the Buddha jewel, Buddha Shakyamuni, as well as our companions on the path, our guides, these most skilled of practitioners, the Sangha jewel, as well as the teachings, the Dharma jewel that we strive to generate within ourselves, the true sensations and paths, and that are in the continuum of the Buddha and the Sangha jewel. We then go for refuge, not just for our own sake, but so that we can become the most skilled of guides and be of greatest benefit to others. With that motivation, we engage in whichever virtuous practice we are going to engage in. So thank you. We're a few minutes late, so sorry for that. So we'll end here then. Okay, thank you.